This is episode 1 of This Is Not Advice. This episode is titled The Petty Files, brought to you by Kareem and Shannon. So, babe, can I tell them about the Petty Files?
I mean, you're already going to do it, so might as well. Go ahead.
All right, so my wife, she got really sharp memory. So, when we had our own spot, this was about 5-6 years into our relationship, and every time she would bring stuff up, like me misplacing things or not putting things back where they belong, like my memory just wasn't as sharp. Like I'm like, I know you do the same thing, but
I definitely
you don't.
No.
All right, well, that's
don't.
another episode. But I was tired of losing. I was tired of being frozen during, whatever you want to call it, arguments, debates, misunderstandings. I had no examples to really share as to why she does the same things that I do. So
I don't.
So what I started to do was I created the Petty Files. That was an album in my phone where I would take pictures of things that she would misplace or leave out and not put back around the house. So anytime I saw something out of place, I would snap a photo and I would add it to an album. And a couple of months went by and she was going in and bust out the files. I had about a good 40 to 50 joints in there.
How that made you feel? Yeah, go on.
At that time, how old was I then? I was probably about,
it don't matter.
Like 31. I felt really good when I had when I bust out the Petty File. I had evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Evidence.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had references. I was citing my sources, citing my evidence, and I said, I got her today. I got her.
You got me.
Yeah.
And then what did that solve? What did that do?
It ain't solved nothing. But
Right.
but
made you feel good.
It did.
Okay.
I'm more mature now.
And you would still bust out the Petty Files.
I don't have Petty Files anymore.
Right.
Because the Petty Files kind of, it set us back for a while. You laughed, but then you were really mad for a couple of days.
Who laughed?
You laughed at first.
Who laughed?
You laughed at first.
You got that in the Petty Files too?
You laughed at first because you said, yo, this guy got files on me. I should bring the Petty Files back.
I promise.
I should bring it back, but I saw the way you reacted, and I was like, it was kind of more so for my ego, and I have to sharpen my memory. But, I don't pay attention to certain things because it's not things that you make a big deal are not a big deal to me.
Right. Like leaving dirty dishes in the sink.
You don't do that? You don't do that?
Excuse me. We're talking about you right now, right?
Okay.
Or your socks. Always having your socks off and piled up at the bed, the whatever you want to call that, the bottom of the bed or whatever the case may be. So I'm spreading the bed sheets and tons of socks are jumbled up in the sheets. That's okay though, right?
That's a problem.
Oh, okay.
But I admit to that. That's the one thing that I do.
No.
That I say, you know what? Like I got to do better at that. That's not like.
Thing.
But it's something that it's like it's a habit of comfort for me to go to sleep with my socks on and take them off under the sheets halfway. Then I wake up like middle of the night, take them off all the way. It's a thing. You got to let me have my thing.
Yeah, and you can have your thing as long as you're cleaning up behind you. I shouldn't be finding 4, 5, 6 pairs of socks jumbled up in the bed sheets.
What does that have to do with the Petty Files?
So you created a Petty Files to catch me on, things that don't even need to be brought up, but because you're so tired of me, mentioning Kareem, you need to do this, or Kareem, you need to do that, you decided what? It was beneficial to you, to this relationship, to create something like that? What's the point? What does that solve? What does that do?
No, I was young, 31. I get it.
And you would still do it today.
I don't have no petty
you would
files.
still do it
I don't
today.
have no petty
So,
files. You think I'll have like?
saying
You think
you
I
were
got?
young.
You think I got years worth of stuff to just one day just bust out like, yo, all right, I'm tired of this.
Okay, so babe.
You don't know?
So babe. Okay, so you're older now. You've quote unquote moved on from the petty files. So speaking back to your younger self, right? Because we're going to disagree on this. What would you say to your younger self in terms of having these quote unquote petty files? Like, is it advantageous to your relationship? Is it beneficial? What does it serve? What's the point?
So if I'm speaking to my younger self, I'm going to say something like, slow down, bro. Slow down, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You want to think about what it is that she is communicating to you, and think about what needs to be done in relationship to what she is sharing with you. What is she asking for? And hear her out. And I do think I did that to some extent, but I was so caught up in, and I still think we got more in common than you like to think when it comes to being a little like all over the place when it comes to
What?
our stuff, like unorganized. You know what I'm saying? Like we both need to be more organized. What you think?
I mean, are there things I can work on as an individual? By far. I mean, who doesn't have things they need to work on? But we're speaking on the things that are consistently not worked on. And to hear you say to your younger self, slow down and take in what is really trying to be said through all of that, right? That's pretty much what I'm hearing you say. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was moving. I wasn't listening. I was moving off of my emotions, and I felt like you were coming at me when you were communicating with me. Right.
So
and at the same time, though, you said that you've learned how to communicate with me better. Though.
So what do you, can you give an example of what do you mean by I was coming at you?
That's how I felt.
Right. So what was said that triggered that emotion?
Like you would kiss your teeth, like.
Really?
Yeah, like, yo, I'm tired.
Really?
Yo,
okay.
Like, you never, like, if I hear you never, I feel like I'm like 0 for 30. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you never, like, what? Like, I never clean up after myself. I never.
Yeah,
that's a
never.
trigger for me. You never. That's a trigger.
Never.
Hearing you never
Correct.
is a trigger. Once I hear you never, I'm like, what? Like,
you never.
Like, hold on, you gotta.
Goodness.
You gotta celebrate me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I wasn't being celebrated. I feel like, I feel like I could. I feel like at the time I could have been. I could have been celebrated more. But I do acknowledge how you've grown in that capacity.
No. Let's go back to this time. So you wanted to feel more celebrated, but what do you think the emotions that I was experiencing when I'm stating things like you never, what's really coming through in all of that talk?
What you mean when you say what's really coming through?
So I guess for me on my end, when I get to the point where I'm like, you never, like you said, kiss teeth, right? And you never this, you never that. It's because it's coming from a place of feeling like I'm taking care of a child,
Okay.
You're supposed to be my partner.
Okay.
And yeah, there are certain expectations in having a partner. I'm not looking to take care of you in a capacity or similar capacity of what I would deem as a child. So if I need to clean up, you need to clean up. And I'm not saying this on some 50-50 type of thing, because to some extent I do function to some degree from a traditionalist, like woman and man, in terms of role related duties, So I'm not out here expecting you to clean bathrooms or cook or that's fine. I'll handle stuff like that. But when it's like, if I'm doing something, let's say I clean the bathroom and then I come in the bathroom and I see toothpaste splatter on the mirrors, yeah, I'm going to be upset about that, because at that point, I just feel like you're inconsiderate and you're not helping to maintain the cleanliness of something I took my time and hard work in ensuring as well. So that's where the frustration will come to play. I will say you have gotten better in our how many years of marriage? Going on 9 years of marriage. And we have 3 children, so maybe you being in a position where you have to be a caregiver to 3 individuals, maybe it's taught you how to be more hands-on.
You
right?
Celebrated me right there. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you your roses.
Okay,
I'm gonna give you your roses.
Appreciate
that. Like I give credit where credit is due, but it doesn't take away from the frustrations. So I'll say that.
Okay, so what you just did, right? That you celebrated me. I just feel like if you celebrate, or I say I've perceived it as you don't celebrate me as much as you critique me.
Critique?
And critique is okay. Constructive criticism.
I don't critique. I'm not out here with a whiteboard.
No, I'm saying I'm saying how I
score
feel.
For score.
I'm not saying that's what you do. I'm just saying that's how I feel, right? It's like my story. So I'm saying objectively, right? Objectively, that's not happening. But subjectively, my perception, I start to feel things and that becomes my reality. And I've learned to not allow my perception to become reality the way that I used to in our relationship. So when you celebrate me, I take it in, right? And I recognize those moments more, right? And I also think as human beings, we tend to notice the criticism more, right? It's not just in our relationship, but maybe at work as well, right? In professional settings, it happens. It's scientific, right? Like we, as humans, could be defensive at times. And I think we've both learned to communicate better as we've gotten older, as we've had kids. But our kids is a whole nother dynamic. That's a whole nother episode we're going to get into. But I do think that starting with the Petty Files, episode 1, is a great way for people to understand where we were and where we are now. And
people are still in their petty files. Don't get it twisted. People
so you
still in their petty files.
You think I got a stash?
I don't know. You got no
ask
stash.
The audience. What y'all think? I'm gonna ask the audience. No. Y'all think I got a petty? Y'all think I got petty files still?
Listen,
because the petty files.
Listen,
I'm saying they don't exist, but they might be classified.
Man,
they could be
declassified. This dude is still in his bag. Don't get it twisted. He is still in his bag.
I don't got no files though,
Yeah,
guys.
okay.
I promise you.
Right.
I'm over that.
Because
I'm
you're
too
quick.
grown for that. I'm too grown for that.
You too grown.
I'm too grown for
You
that.
too
Why would I have
grown.
petty files?
Okay. I hear that.
Why would I have petty files?
I hear that. I hear that. We too grown. Okay.
Yeah, you know, if every once in a while I could be a little. I think it's okay to be a little petty every once in a while. Just every once in a while.
We gotta ask the audience what they deem little.
You gotta.
We all have our different metrics.
A little
and
just
ranges.
Just a tad.
Because what's you're calling little may not be little to me.
That's true. So when I bust out the petty files,
you still big petty.
How did you feel when what was your initial reaction when?
Like, I can't believe this Negro really busts out 2 pictures talking about I did. Oh, look at you!
I don't even think we had furniture yet. Yeah, I don't even think we had furniture. We might have had a couch. No, I'm saying we weren't like fully furnished and moved in at that time.
No, we were. We moved in. Yes, we were, Kareem.
You sure?
Kareem, we moved into the crib with furniture.
So then why you had stuff all over the place like
Kareem,
that?
Stop it. No, see, you're gone too far now. Stop it.
All right, so if you were giving advice, right, to a young man out there right now who's like, you know what? Yeah, you never, that's a trigger word for me. Every time I hear you never, would you tell them that they should try out the petty files for their own, to have some ammunition for when they get into a debate with their partner?
No, not at all. That's a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster.
It is. I mean, the fact that we're here how many years later, obviously we had to get through petty files to gain a better understanding of each other, in order to communicate better to each other for whatever it is we want to communicate to be received on both ends.
Gotcha.
And I think that's where things should begin. I think, if someone is triggered by verbiage that's being thrown out there, like you never, or whatever the case may be, I'll say be patient with your partner, and instead of listening to respond, listen to get an understanding or clarity on what is making this individual react in this manner and say these things. Because to speak in absolutes, there might be some root issue going on there. Like, okay, let's get to the bottom of what's really griping you, what's really going on here, because this is much more than my socks being left jumbled up in bed sheets.
Everybody know my business now. They all up in my bed. Nah, that's all right though. I need that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I'm not going to give up. I shouldn't leave them at the end of the bed, wrapped up in the comforter. But I got a thing for socks and having my socks on and taking them off while I'm in the bed. It's like really relaxing and comforting. But my takeaway from this that I would want a young brother to understand and sit with is listening, right? How do we listen? There's one thing, I think we often talk about how we communicate, and listening is a part of communication as well. And I've learned how to be a better listener. However, it's a muscle that has to constantly be developed, because now that we have 3 kids, our lives are so much busier that sometimes I don't listen that well because there's so much going on. And between work, the 3 kids, my wife, and so any young brother out there, just think about listening, and the way you listen has to evolve and change over time, because the dynamics of the relationship change over time. At one point, it was just me and my wife. Now it's me, my wife, and our 3 kids. When we had 1 kid, it was different. When we had 2, it was different. When we had 3, it was different. So yeah, that's just my piece of advice right there is think about listening as a part of communication. I know this is not advice, but I'm going to give you some advice today, young brother. And that's it right there.
And I guess from the woman perspective, I'll say to the young woman, maybe slow down, breathe, and think before reacting. So, in knowing my partner and who I chose to partner with, is also recognizing the need improvements in my partner, right? So I'm not saying to do everything and enable bad behavior in your partner, but it's also recognizing how to speak to your partner in order for what it is you want to relay, whatever message you want to relay, to be received by your partner. So to my younger self in that moment, or in my moments, like he'll say, of me telling him, well, you never do this or you never do that. Maybe as opposed to speaking in absolutes, maybe I should have just taken a moment to reflect and see how best the message I want to relay could be received by him in a respectful, loving manner.
All right. So this is not advice. Episode 1, the Petty Files. See y'all on the next episode. Peace.
See ya.